about what I've been going through.
Kim met Carl through a Lonely Hearts column, and their romance blossomed when he helped her through the traumatic aftermath of a horrific car crash. So did they mind going public with their private history?
No, because I'm usually quite open and honest from day one with everybody, and...
I was 100% behind her. I felt it was something that she wanted to do. I was a little bit conscious of people might see on the street. They'd say, like, I've seen it in a magazine or something.
What sort of technique did you use when you were putting your story down on paper?
Well, every picture has a story to tell, and so I found it easy to look at the picture and just write a little sort of paragraph on the back, what was involved around my life happening at that stage, and it told the story with a visual sort of explanation.
People ring us with an idea. They say, this amazing thing has happened to me, could you do a story about this? Or they write in. We then take the idea for that story and we talk about it amongst ourselves and say, do we think this could make a good story for the magazine? And if so, then we will send a writer around to their house. And that writer will take the person's own words, only their own words, and use those words in the story. £50 is the minimum that we would pay for one of our stories. That would be a little letter on the letters page, probably. And for the maximum, most stories in the magazine are £250 to £500, but we have been known to go up even higher, £1,000, maybe even higher than that.
For those who are watching this and they have a story to tell, give us some tips.
If you are trying to decide whether it's a story that's right for the magazine, try telling it to a friend, and if they go, oh, wow, that's amazing, in all the right places, then you know it's a good story that our readers will want to read as well. It should be a story that has ups and downs and an ending that's not always predictable, maybe. Just don't be afraid to be yourself. When you're filling in the coupon, if it's funny, make it funny. Our readers want to read stories that are about people that they like and can understand, so just be natural. Lastly is only send it to one magazine at a time, because otherwise you could get in trouble. You could get two magazines trying to print it at the same time, which would definitely land everybody in problems.
We were laughing to ourselves because we just imagined as the photos were getting taken that we would look a bit
Cosy eyed or something.
like two gonks.
So if you're tempted, there's a whole world of publishing out there just dying to hear from you and willing to pay for the privilege.
Still to come on today's Really Useful show.
It's a close shave, but which aftershave is the people's choice?
Ian, thank you for staying with us. Lots of calls coming in about UPVC windows, and sadly, a lot of cases where people have been burgled. So this is an interesting one. Somebody's called us from Liverpool, no name here, but it says, does this problem affect UPVC doors as well as windows? We haven't mentioned doors.
Yeah, obviously when we were developing, the first area of the problem was actually PVC windows, and we recognised that, and obviously we developed a test specification for that. What we have now done, and we launched, the GGF launched the data sheet first of all this year, in May this year, is a test specification for doors of improved security. It's based on the same sort of basis, and it will test doors to give them actual test certificates at the end of the day.
Again,
and that will be handed to BSI, and they'll make a pass for that as well.
So that's on its way.
It's on its way
as
through.
the new windows
talk,
as well.
Yeah.
Anne Morse called us from Nottingham. Good morning, Anne. She said, is there such a thing as a burglar-proof UPVC window, a guaranteed burglar-proof? Is that the next step?
Unfortunately, I don't think at the moment you can say you can guarantee burglar-proof anything, to be quite honest. I mean, I get horror stories of people putting steel bars through doors and letterboxes on doors and attaching them to the back of Range Rovers and tearing the frame out. But it is obviously something we're working on more and more. Only 90% of the burglaries take place through opportunist burglars, and it's those that obviously we need to design out for the earlier stages.
So basically you're always looking at this problem.
Always moving it on.
But nobody can really guarantee 100 burglar proof.
No, at the end of the day, no.
Okay, thank you for that call, Emery. Who's this? John Clentz from Luton. He said that I think we actually mentioned this, but you can mastic the windows in if they're not clipped.
Yeah.
But you said again, don't do these things yourself, preferably.
That's right. I would recommend that anybody who doesn't do this on a DIY type basis, because there's all sorts of problems that you could actually break the sealed unit, so you end up with condensation between the glass, and also if you don't get the right thickness between the rebate upstand and the sealed unit, then you're actually taking it off the dimension, and the glass will fall out very easily anyway.
So, John, yes, you can use mastic, but preferably don't do it yourself.
That's
Ian,
right,
thank you very much for staying with us this morning. Some very, very useful information there. Thank you for all your calls. Do keep them coming. We'd love to hear from you. There's the numbers there, 0500 500 334. Thank you.
OK, it's a bit embarrassing. We've all had one. You know, those pop idols that get you screaming and shouting. Ooh.
That beat, the word on the street, that the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it before, but you've never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you. And all the roads that lead us there are winding.
Oh dear, so embarrassing. Yes, I've asked around the office today, Bay City Rollers, the Osmonds, David Cassidy. That's because we're all really old. But anyway, if you get really keen on someone, the next step is to join their fan club. But that's when your fave star's golden image can start to lose its lustre somewhat. Big membership fees, long delays, poor quality merchandise and general unreliability are among the biggest complaints from young fans and their parents. Well, the Music Fan Club Association, launched just this week, wants to clamp down on unprofessional fan clubs, and Jackie Smith is here to explain exactly how it'll work. Jackie, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank
so
you.
go on then, how does it work?
The MFCA wants to have a register of all official fan clubs. We have a code of practice, and we request that if they say to the young fans, or the older fans necessarily, that they're going to get something within a certain time, they will stick to it. The membership fee will include a set of items. They will stick to that. When the fan sends off for it, they know exactly what they're going to get back. And the code of practice will control what people send out, and the fact that if a fan thinks he's getting something, that's what he's going to get.
Now, you've almost got like a sort of a kite mark, haven't you? But you call it the fan mark. You've got the fan mark, haven't you?
Right.
OK, now we can see it there. It's up on the screen there, MFCA. So basically, what will that mean if you see that applied to a fan club leaflet or pamphlet?
We're hoping that registered fan clubs will include on all their literature. So if the fans see that mark on anything they've got from the fan club, they know that they're part of the MFCA, and it gives them an assurance that should there be a problem with that fan club, they can come to us and we will very gladly help out and solve that problem for them as quickly as possible.
What are some of the problems you've heard fans, young and old, and probably their parents as well, talking about?
They send off, in most cases, very hard-earned pocket money, and they send off, and months, weeks go by, they get nothing back. When they do get something back, it's not necessarily what they think they've paid for. With merchandise, they'll send off for a T-shirt that looks great on the advert. When it comes back, it's not what they've sent off for at all.
OK. Now, so your organisation, I mean, you've only been going for, you know, less than a week
That's
or
right.
so. What is it you can do when Mr. Jones rings in and says, my little girl didn't get her T-shirts from X or Y band? What is it you guys can do?
We will have a direct link to the fan club, to the management, and if necessary, the artist. And we can then contact that person directly, because most fan clubs are run using a PO box number. And Mrs. Jones from Croydon can send off 1 million letters to the PO box number, and 6 months later something may get done. If they give us a call, we will follow it up immediately, and we will hopefully get a result within days rather than months.
But why should they take any more notice of you than they would of Mrs. Jones sending her 200 letters?
We're hoping that the fan clubs really do care about their fans, their members. Without them, they wouldn't exist, and without them, the pop bands wouldn't exist. So if they really cared about their members, then they're going to worry that there's a problem. They may not know there's a problem. It may just be a delay in a merchandise order. It may be someone else that's delayed them. So we can then inform them of this problem before it escalates, and the artist then starts to look tarnished, like, oh dear, so-and-so hasn't sent so-and-so their T-shirt. And we can step in before that happens.
Now, you've got the backing of quite a few people in the music industry, haven't you?
We have, yeah.
Now, if you have 6 bands at the moment on your books, on your roster,
On our
so
roster,
to speak,
yeah.
but what happens if I ring in and I get in touch with you and I say, well, my band isn't one of your 6, it's so-and-so and so-and-so, but I still am unhappy with the service I've received from the fan club. Can you do anything for me there?
We won't turn anyone away. The whole point of the MFCA is to help the fans. So even if that fan club is not registered, we will happily pass on a number or an address or some more direct contact where that particular person can go for help. But if the band is registered with the MFCA, then we will follow up that complaint personally.
Okay, for those people who don't know, which 6 bands is it you are with at the moment?
We've got Rosie Gaines, we've got 911, Queen, which is our one. We've got the Levellers, and there's a couple more that are just about to come on board.
Okay, all right. Jackie, thank you very much indeed.
You're very welcome.
Now, if you want more information about the Music Fan Club Association, you'll find all the details on our CFAX page 625, or, of course, you can give us a call.
Now, antibiotics, the answer to all our problems? Well, according to a new report from the British Medical Association, the answer is no. The BMA has just launched a new campaign called Antibiotics Not a Miracle Cure. They want to discourage patients from asking for antibiotics for every cough, sneeze and cold. Well, on the line to explain why is our medical advisor, Dr. David Bull. Good morning to you, David.
Good morning, Ruth.
Sorry you couldn't be with us this morning, but David, doctors have been prescribing antibiotics for years now. Why the concern all of a sudden?
Well, yes, I mean, antibiotics are fantastic when they're used properly. And over the last 30 years or so, we've become more dependent upon them. And so doctors are prescribing them more often. Also, patients are requesting them more often. But I think really only now we've realised that by having so many antibiotics around, what the implications are and what the problems that can occur as a result.
So what are those problems? Is this going to be an adverse effect on our health?
Yes, well, what happens is if you have a lot of antibiotics around, the bacteria that cause diseases or the bugs that cause those diseases get used to them, and they then develop resistance. And what that means is that the antibiotics are no longer effective. And then what we see is the emergence of new strains of bacteria, which are known as superbugs. And these really can't be treated by antibiotics at all. So that's incredibly worrying, and it really means that we're back to square one.
Okay, so what are the BMA advising now? What do they want patients to think about?
Well, I mean, obviously antibiotics still have a very important role to play, but antibiotics are no good for viral infections. They're no good for the common cold, I'm afraid.
Which you've said before you've said that before on this programme, haven't you?
They're no good for the common cold. They're no good for things like the majority of sore throats either. But they are useful for certain clinical indications. But what I would say is if the doctor says to you, you don't need antibiotics, then please don't sort of continue down that line and demand them. And often doctors will give in to patients if they say, oh, please, can I have them?
Okay, so not for the coughs and colds?
No, and the third thing is, if you are given them, please do finish the course, because that's very important.
All right, David, nice to talk to you, and we'll see you in the studio very soon, I hope.
Indeed, Ruth.
Thanks, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Now, it's a favourite Christmas present for men, probably second only to socks and that tie you'll never wear. That's why I've got an open neck shirt. I'm talking about aftershave. Now, armed with the latest offerings from 3 high street stores even, Sally Gray's been to North Wales to get this week's People's Choice.
That was a close shave, but he's not finished yet. Which one's it going to be? His choice, his partner's choice, or the people's choice? Okay, here's the setup. We have 3 very good-looking young men in the prime of their lives and 3 very different brands of aftershave from high street stores. First off, it's Mark, good morning, who's going to be modelling some of the Body Shop Activist aftershave. And that comes out at £6.95 for 100 millilitres, thank you. Try shaving a bit closer next time. And then we move on here to Charlie, Blonde Charlie. He's going to be trying Superdrug Skin Fitness System. And this one here is £4.99 for 125 millilitres. So it's the cheapest out of the 3, thank you. And then last but definitely not least, it's Keith. He's going to be modelling for us NX brand from Next. And that is £9.99 for 100 millilitres, by far the most expensive and by far the most attractive of our 3 models. Okay, so these are our 3 brands. What do the public think? Oh, she's getting right in there. Gorgeous. Oh, she's off. Lovely. Okay, Liz, now you've gone right in there for the kill now. I didn't have a chance to ask you what you thought of each one. First of all, you said he was gorgeous.
That is gorgeous.
Why is that one so nice?
It's, well, it's quite heady. Does lovely things to you. That's nice. It smells quite expensive, that one.
Oh, it smells quite expensive. Yeah. How does that one compare with the first one?
More masculine. Oh, I like that.
Oh, we've got a definite reaction here.
Oh, I do like that one.
No, don't look at him. Look at the smell of the aftershave. You're just lining him up. I know your game.
Yeah, that's sort of more musky.
Musky, and I quite like the musky. Do you like the musky?
That's probably what I'd go for.
I think 3's got it.
Which one's got it? C. You're going to go for C? Keith,
yeah.
come in here and do the reveal. Which one did you go for? You went for... Aha, you went for Next. You chose... You chose Superdrug, the skin fitness system, and that was actually by far the cheapest. £4.99 for 125 millilitres. Mark, would you like to tell us which one it is you've got? You've got that one. Look, it's the Body Shop Activist one.
Oh, lovely.
That comes at £6.95
Very
for
good.
that bottle, 100 millilitres. You chose Next branded Sport NX.
Yeah.
£9.99, and in fact, the most expensive out of the three.
Shows I've got styles in it.
So, what did the people of Llandudno reckon to our 3 different brands of aftershave? Well, I can tell you this, they have expensive taste because the ones that came out on top were the more pricey ones. In second place, it was Activist from the Body Shop. They said it wasn't too overpowering and it had a nice spicy aroma. Bad luck to you, Charlie, maybe next time. But good news for Keith, the one he was wearing he liked the best, and that was the one from Next, NX, £9.99 for 100 millilitres. They said it smelt expensive, it was heady, and it was oh so sexy. So that's the people's choice for this week. I'll see you next week, but for now, I've got a lot of research to do. Keith?
You'll be straight out to buy some of that.
I will indeed, yes.
If it has that effect.
It could work really well. Now, we've had a lot of calls have been coming in. A call from Malcolm Maxwell. He says that once you've sold your story to a magazine in Britain, you can always sell them again to magazines in the rest of the English-speaking world. The USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, for example. And you can double your money, which seems like a really, really good idea. And also, Edna Hughes has rung in from Cardiff. Good morning to you, Edna. She says that magazines sometimes hang on to articles for months without saying whether they will take it up or not. She was kept waiting for 3 months. So obviously the thing to do is just keep ringing them up and saying, hey, when's my story coming out?
Absolutely. We've had this similar one here. Alison Colgate from Kent. She said that she's still waiting for a magazine to take up her story. She was actually told by them that they would use it. This was 7 months ago. She had the photos taken and she'd written the story, and she hasn't received anything from them yet. So do let us know how you got on with that one, won't you? And do you remember the item you did yesterday about winter skin?
Yes.
It's all about dehydrating, isn't it? And lots of calls coming in about that one. Jane Everson from Stockport says, be careful. Oh, no, I've got the wrong one there.
No, it is there.
Oh,
That's
there it is. I knew it was there somewhere. It's that Friday feeling, you see. She said that, it's a he, Patrick O'Hare, never apply moisturiser to your nose as it blocks the pores and can cause blackheads. Did you know that?
I did know, but only from yesterday, I have to say. Only from there.
OK, and that's it for another week, I'm afraid. But on Monday, we'll be live at the World Travel Market, which means red-hot news on what the travel industry has in store for us in 1998.
And actress Sandra Maitland will be investigating what yoga can do for Britain's asthma sufferers.
Interesting one. That. Stay with us on BBC One for Real Rooms. But from us, goodbye. Have a great weekend.
Bye for now.
Oh, no, not in there.
In the War of the Wards.
They're not having rubbish like that in here.
It's fight for your life.
Survival of the fittest.
Or form a resistance.
Could be something highly secret.
Yes.
Or a lemon squeezer.
I'm putting it in Tucker's letter to Moscow. That'll put Tucker in the suit, eh? Right in the borscht.
Get well soon.
It's your job to keep us flying. You whistle a tune and you say your tickety-boo.
Sundays, 6:30, BBC One.
Well, that can't be bad, can it?
The hotel is looking for a new receptionist.
I've seen, met, loved, hugged, kissed, said goodbye to so many people in my life since I started in this job.
Mark's looking lively.
Just tidy him now and make himself look good. Because if you're not, they'll find something for you to do.
If you come in this office once more, then you will then go in front of Mrs. Downey and she will dismiss you.
And Katie's looking for love.
Mrs. Downey has set me up with someone.
It's all happening at the hotel. Monday at 9:30 on BBC One.
Now on BBC One, it's bath time in a real room.
Today, Real Rooms comes to you from the beautiful spa town of Cheltenham. Famous for its ladies' college, its Regency architecture, some rather interesting objets d'art, and after today, the bathroom of Gail and John Kellett, which I've been told is in serious distress. This way.